Have you ever faced a situation where you felt stuck or unsure of how to move forward? Well, today on the quote of the week, we're going to talk a little bit about that, talking about a situation about feeling stuck or unsure of how to move forward, right? So today's quote comes from a pretty famous guy. I think you guys know who he is. His name is Martin Luther King Jr., MLK. And it's one of my favorite MLK quotes. And the quote says this: if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. Martin Luther King Jr. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said, you probably already know who that gentleman is. He created a huge movement and unfortunately was assassinated. But this quote lives on, and there's so much power and empowerment in this quote. And one of the reasons why I chose this quote is there's so much value in the quote in every single sentence. When I mean every single sentence, that's the reason why I want to break down every single sentence, because there's so much value in it. So even if we start with the beginning of the quote, excuse me, it says, if you don't fly, then run. So even if flying, like, like a bird, like soaring, or even reaching, think of flying like reaching your ultimate goal. So even if you don't reach your ultimate goal, or seems like it's out of reach, like, oh my God, I'll never get there. The goal is, if you can't fly, then run. Take action and move forward with determination. So at the end of the day, if you can't fly, run. At least take some kind of action moving forward. Now, here's what I want to remind you of, especially when we have that big goal and we get overwhelmed and we're like, I don't know if I can achieve it. I don't know if I can do it. God put that dream, God put that goal in your heart for a reason, by the way. And I hope you understand that. God wouldn't have put a dream or a goal in your heart if he hadn't already given you everything you need to fulfill it. One of the things I love saying to people, I say, look, you got what it takes, but it's going to take everything you got, right? So we got to really dig deep inside and think about what God placed on my heart, what skills, what abilities, what opportunities, what connections, what relationships he put in me and around me that can help me achieve that goal. And even if I can't fly, let me at least run. Then he continues that quote with, if you can't run, then walk. So even if running, meaning like making some kind of significant progress, I consider running like significant progress, right? Even if you don't think it's feasible, or even if you think it like you're talking about like, is it big enough? How about you take smaller, more manageable steps forward? Like, still go forward. So if you can't run, why not walk? So even maybe you can't take that significant progress, but at least you're moving forward by walking, right? And sometimes the smallest step in the right direction ends up being the biggest step of your life. I'm gonna repeat that because someone needs to hear that. Sometimes the smallest step, I'm talking about the smallest step, and just the fact that you're taking a step, because sometimes people get caught up on what's called paralysis by overanalysis. They become paralyzed because they overanalyze everything that's going on. They're wondering, how am I going to get this done? What am I going to do? What am I supposed to do? Am I doing it right? What are people going to think? And they overthink it to a point that they don't do anything at all. So once again, sometimes the smallest steps in the right direction ends up being the biggest step of your life. Now, another, it brought to my mind another quote from Martin Luther King. And it reminds me of what I'm talking about right now, about taking a step forward, right? He said, it was along the lines, you don't have to see the whole staircase, just take the first step. It was something like that. Martin Luther King said, you don't have to see the whole staircase, just take the first step. And once again, even though you feel like you may not be able to run, at least walk, move forward. And then he ends it with, if you can't walk, then crawl. If you can't walk, then crawl. Even if walking or making steady progress, like even a little step, even if that's too much for you, Even if it becomes challenging, just keep going. Even if it means moving at a slower pace, even if it means you're moving like a turtle, keep going. And don't worry about how fast or how slow you're going. Because remember, progress is progress. Even if it doesn't seem like it, forward is forward, no matter how slow you go. So at the end of the day, once again, if you can't walk, at least crawl. And then he ends the quote with saying, excuse me, but whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward regardless of the circumstances. So you have to keep moving forward. That's what he means by that. When he says keep moving forward, it means regardless of the circumstances, regardless of the challenges you face, the key is to maintain forward momentum. See, not only do you have to create momentum, not only do you advance momentum, you have to maintain it. You have to maintain and advance it, move forward. Never, ever give up on your goals and aspirations. Never, ever give up. And also, never let your emotions get in the way of your motion. You have to stay excited, move forward, and never quit. I'm going to repeat that. Stay excited. Not just get excited. You have to stay excited and do not, I'm going to repeat it, do not let your emotions get in the way of your motion. A lot of times when emotions are high, our intelligence gets low and we make silly mistakes. We make silly decisions. We make permanent decisions based on temporary feelings. And that can cost you in the long run big time. Now, speaking of forward motion, I want to remind everyone about something, just in case you didn't know this. You can't reach what's in front of you. You can't. You can't reach what's in front of you until you let go of what's behind you. If you want to go forward, if we're talking about forward motion, you cannot reach forward if you're thinking about going backwards or you're stuck in the past. You got to let it go. Like many people say, let go and let God. That's all you can do. Now, my question to you is, maybe you want to participate in the comments. What's some of your goals? What's some of your aspirations? And the reason I ask that question is, as I'm reading these comments, or I come back to the recordings and I read some of the comments, I can possibly do videos about this in the future, but maybe I can help you add some value and help you achieve some of your goals through my videos. So your participation helps me out, provide more value to you. But back to the subject, how do you overcome obstacles, right? How do you overcome obstacles? You have to learn how to move forward. You have to move forward towards your goals and turning your obstacles into opportunities. You know, like I keep saying this, I'm going to be repetitive because I really want you to get it. In one of my past videos, I talked about, if this mic is the opportunity, but our obstacles here and your focus is on obstacles, you're going to miss out on opportunity because you're not looking at it. You're looking at the obstacles. You're like, oh my God, why is this happening to me? This happened, that happened. Instead of focusing so much on the obstacles, we need to change our focus to opportunity. Because what you focus on expands. If you're going to think about, oh, what if it goes wrong? Guess what? You're going to find reasons why it's going to go wrong. But if you focus on, what if this goes right? Because there's two thoughts right there. You decide as a human, you have the gift of decision. You have the gift of making a decision, of having a mind, right? So you can decide which way you go. And speaking of decisions and handling obstacles and stuff like that, it always reminds me of stories. Like, for instance, the famous inventor Thomas Edison, I think I used them in a previous example. He faced numerous setbacks. I'm talking about failure after failure after failure, trying to develop the electric light bulb. He was trying to create the light bulb, and he failed and failed and failed and failed over and over and over again. And when asked, like, how did that make you feel? Once again, he didn't focus on the obstacle. He focused on the opportunity. What did I gain from this experience? What did I gain from this failure? And he said, I have not failed. He just flipped the script. I didn't fail. What are you talking about? I just found 10,000 ways that it didn't work. So he successfully found 10,000 ways the light bulb doesn't work. So even going through all that, through perseverance, he went and was consistent with his action. And he eventually succeeded in creating a practical and viable electric light bulb. When everyone was talking like, hey, we're cool with this candle. We're cool with the oil lamp. We're cool with that. We don't need that. There were probably naysayers back in the day, like, this guy's crazy. He keeps failing and failing. He thinks it's really going to work, until he eventually created it and revolutionized the modern lighting of the world. It was crazy what he did. Another example that I think about, handling obstacles and going through a struggle and how do you move forward? I don't know if you've ever heard the story of the professional surfer. Her name is Bethany Hamilton. She faced a life-altering setback because at the age of 13, I don't know if you've ever heard the story, at the age of 13, while surfing, she was attacked by a shark, and the shark bit her left arm off. Like she has no left arm. That's crazy. And even with that, like, you would think a 13-year-old, a young kid at an early age will be emotionally like done. Like, oh my God, like, I'm not going back in that ocean. What if I get attacked again? But despite the physical and emotional challenges that she faced in the water, and afterwards getting back, learning how to surf again, she refused to give up. Refused. And that's what I'm talking about right now. When he says, if you can't fly, run. If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. But whatever you do, move forward. When he says that, that's a prime example of what Bethany did. She refused to give up on her passion to surf. And what did she do? With determination, and she just adapted. She looked at new circumstances. She's like, you know what? I gotta relearn how to surf, and it kind of switched up the game because remember, she lost the arm, so she had to learn how to get on the board, how to balance differently. There's even a movie on it. I don't know if you guys ever seen the movie, but she became a successful professional surfer, inspiring millions of people around the world with her story of courage. She didn't give up. She kept going. So that's when I think of that quote I just shared with you, I think of people like that just keep going. See, this is the mindset or the framework. Let me give you the framework of what we need to do. You set goals, and guess what? I'm gonna keep it real with you. When you set goals, are you gonna accomplish it every single time? Nope. You're going to have some setbacks. You're going to have some failures. But like I said in the previous video, it's not about the loss. It's about the lesson. It's taking the loss, the failure, and saying, you know what? Cool. All right. I failed at that. But what can I learn from this? Just like I said with Thomas Edison, he found 10,000 ways it didn't work. So obviously this didn't work. Check. Got it. I won't do it that way no more. Or how can I do it better? So you learn, improve, and guess what? You come back to the drawing board with a bigger and better goal that's aligned up a better way. You got to think big. Write the word big down. B-I-G. Big. Believe in greatness. You got to believe that you're great. You got to believe that you have greatness inside of you, that you can do it. Because it really comes down to belief. Now, I didn't just want to give you some inspiration or motivation. I want to leave you with some tips and strategies for overcoming obstacles and staying motivated during challenging times. So let's start off with a list. I'm going to give you 10 ways to stay motivated during challenging times. Number one, set clear goals. So number one is real simple. And these are real simple. I'm not going to go into too much detail. Set clear goals. See, when you have a goal and it's clear, you know what you're aiming at. If you have no goals or it's not clear, what's your target? And if you have no goal, how you expect to hit it? You have to have something that you're aiming at. Number two, break it down. Break it down into smaller pieces. Reverse engineer it. if I want this to happen, what do I need to do? One of my favorite things about telling people, don't just make goals, make actionable goals. Set out specific actions that lead to a bigger goal. Number 3, stay positive. Positive. Your attitude determines your altitude. You have to be positive. I just finished telling you that. Guess what? You might fail at this. Guess what? You're probably going to have some setbacks. Guess what? You're going to have haters, naysayers, people that tell you it is not possible. But even in the word impossible, I'm possible. So you have to stay positive. Number 4, seek support, mentorship, guidance. It's the cheat code. Tony Robbins talks about match your model. Find someone that has the results, the lifestyle, the career, the business, the attitude, the family, the relationship, whatever it is you're seeking. Find someone that has it, match and model, seek their support, seek their mentorship. Number 5, stay flexible. You got to stay flexible. Things are going to go wrong. I keep saying that. So you have to be flexible that if it doesn't work one way, maybe there's another way to do it. Because there's multiple ways to do multiple things, right? It's not just one way. And guess what? As you grow, you're going to learn how to work smarter, not harder. And that is the goal. Number 6, practice self-care. It's so important that we take care of ourselves emotionally, physically, spiritually. So when I say practice self-care, really practice it. When's the last time you pampered yourself? When's the last time you took care of yourself? When's the last time you maybe did a facial, got a haircut, did something special for yourself? Number 7, which goes hand in hand with the planner. Number 7 is stay organized. You want to stay organized. You want to have not only a goal, but also a plan and get organized with it. The moment I got organized with my online business, my business blew up. Because not only did it organize me, but it showed my sales team that I meant business and I was taking them serious because I was adding them to my calendar. And that's how my business blew up. Number 8, celebrate progress. Remember what I said earlier about progress? Even small progress, even slow progress is progress. Forward is forward. So celebrate it. Even if you get that little win, celebrate. Number 9, learn from setbacks. I talked about this already. We don't lose over here. You either win or you learn. And if you don't win, you learn from your mistake. You learn from your failure, and you come back even stronger until you win. Number 10 and final one, stay persistent. Stay persistent. One of my favorite quotes is, if you're persistent, you get what you want. If you're consistent, you keep what you want, right? So at the end of the day, you got to be persistent to get it. You got to be consistent to keep it. But whatever you do, this is what the MLK quote, the one we shared today, how it ends. Whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. Remember, regardless of the circumstances or challenges faced, the key to maintain is forward momentum. That's the key. You have to maintain forward momentum. Never give up on your goals or your aspirations or your dreams. God put it in your heart for a reason, and don't forget that. Now, one of the things I always tell people when it comes to goals, dreams, aspirations, like what you want to accomplish in life, one of the things that comes down to many times is not what you know, it's who you know. And speaking of that, it brings us to today's declaration. And today's declaration is, I give out love in all my relationships, and it is returned to me tenfold. I give out love in all my relationships, and is returned to me tenfold. You know what that is? That's the golden rule. You know, if you ask anyone, what's the golden rule? Everyone knows what the golden rule is. Even Jesus himself talks about the golden rule in the Bible. If you look at it, I believe Matthew 7:12. Matthew 7:12. Whatever you want men to do to you, do also to them. So the golden rule is do unto others how you want them to do unto you. So that goes back to the declaration. I give out love. I didn't say I give out negativity. I didn't say I give out. I don't complain in my relationships. I don't give out saltiness. No, I give out love in all my relationships. All, keyword, all my relationships, not just friends, not just family, strangers, co-workers. I'm giving love in all my relationships, and is returned to me tenfold. See, my encouragement to you with this declaration is to be intentional and commit. This is a simple challenge for the rest of the year. Be intentional and commit to approach all your relationships with love and compassion. Love and compassion. See, we want to create positive, supportive connections with other people based on kindness, based on empathy, based on understanding. And when you do that, and you're intentional about it, and you're committed to it, you're going to see a shift in your life. And that's why I say it's returned to you tenfold. When I say return to you tenfold, I mean it's returned to you in more ways than just relationships. It's returned to you in your surrounding. It's returned to you in your results. It's returned to you in what you have in life, what you achieve in life. It's returned to you in feeling, in emotion. It's returned to you in so many ways. The idea of love and positivity, like what do you put out in the world, you will get back. And by all means, I'm not telling you to commit and be intentional about it so what you get back. I'm not saying just do it because of that. I'm saying do it so you can see how it can turn out for your good. Do it. All right? So once again, the declaration is, I give out love in all my relationships, and it is returned to me tenfold. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for your time. I greatly appreciate everyone watching live. If you watched it live, let me know in the comments. Or if you watched the recording, cool. Like, comment, share, subscribe. I greatly appreciate everyone. Once again, we got the quote and declaration from the Maximize Your Life Planner. Go check it out at maximizeyourlifeplanner.com. Thank you so much for your time. God bless. Take care. Let's go live life to the max, and let's go impact this world. Take care. Have a good night. Bye-bye.